Hi, good day everyone. My name is Abada Samuel. Samuel Abada, first name Samuel. We'll be going through the topic deep dive into Flutter deep linking. A little about me. I mentioned earlier my name is Samuel Abada. Um, Software engineer at Shortlast Mobility. I lead the mobile engineering team and co-organizer for Flutter Lagos. I also do something at Flutter Akure. What that something is exactly, I don't know yet. Okay, random chef. By random chef, I mean I do a lot of tinkering based on ideas that drop in my head. Open source stuff, contribute to open source, packages, libraries, write articles, speak at events, organize workshops, etc. Okay, yeah. So deep links. Yeah. So imagine a world, right? Where every tap on my smartphone, every tap on my device, just like takes me to the exact content where I want, right? Everything's so personalized for you, personalized for you that one tap, new experience, one tap, another experience, one tap, one content, right? It would be something as simple as transitioning from a marketing email, right, to going to a specific product page, right? Or something as easy as launching the order detail screen of a ride sharing app with your location already pre-filled and destination already pre-filled. Very simple. Or something as simple as sharing a link to a friend and they tap that link and you go to that exact content, right? All these things, right, are made possible by the power of deep links, right? So what exactly are deep links? Deep links, they are links that allow you to send users directly to an app instead of a store or a website, right? You use deep links to send users or to display specific content to the users, right? You send users a particular location in the application or you display specific content to the user. Take for instance, a link to a product, be an e-commerce app, right, or a marketplace, yes, and then you share a link with someone shares you a particular link. You want to tap on the link and then go to that particular specific content in the app, right? By tapping on the link, you want to open a product details page, right? So you can add it to cart. You can review the product and add to cart if you want. So yeah, deep links generally are always the format scheme, host, and paths. The scheme comes first. It could be HTTP, HTTPS, or a custom scheme. The host is usually the domain name, right? And then you have the path. The path tells like the end product, the end points where you are navigating to. So that I have scheme, host, and path. Then HTTPS helpwinglabs.xyz/products as an example. Of course, what you have by the end of the screen here, right, is just a simple demo that I was working on just to demonstrate. So just say this grid view as a grid of n items where each item is signified, of course, the index plus one. Where each item here, where each card here, in particular, is an item or a product, and tapping on it open the product details, which is of course the product details and the ID, right? So generally, there are different ways you can, employ deep links in your app. There are different kinds of links. Um, the most common being universal links, app links, custom scheme, right? So universal links basically are exclusive to iOS devices, and they use the HTTP and HTTPS as their scheme, right? They basically take you to content in the application or specific locations in the application, but this time they are exclusive to iOS devices only and use the scheme HTTP and HTTPS. App links are are exactly the same as universal links, just that app links are exclusive to Android devices only. Meaning on Android they're called app links, on iOS they're called universal links. So if you're going to read the native platform documentation of iOS, right? You see them as universal links. If you're reading it for Android, you see it as app links. In summary, they're basically the same thing, right? And then we have custom schemes. Custom schemes, right? Basically, you utilize URL schemes that are specific to your application. They don't utilize HTTP, they don't utilize HTTPS. It's just schemes that are specific to your application. And it's good and it's not so good at the same time. It's custom schemes, right? But let's see what are the recommended practices, right? What do you want? What does one recommend for the best deep linking experience? Generally, we recommend app links and universal links, right? And of course, there are reasons for this, right? App links and universal links are the recommended practice, right? And that's because they offer you better user experience. Oftentimes, you mirror your app links or universal links, right, on mobile to resemble what you have on the web. I mean, you have a website already, right? That let's look at a very simple case of an e-commerce site. Right? An e-commerce site, you have an e-commerce mobile application you're building, right? So you want to mirror the routing, you want to mirror the pages, right, and the URL on mobile to match what you have on the web. You might say, oh, URL or mobile, mobile don't use URL. It's not exactly, but you do that navigation on your mobile app, you route from pages to page, from one page to another, right? So yeah, routing. So you want to mirror that routing experience you have on the web. Mind you, by default, the web is deep linked by default. And why do I say that? I could give you a web URL to a particular product, and when you click on the URL, it opens that exact location or that exact content. And when you can press the back button and go back to the main page or the home screen, right? Exactly, like that is how the web works. Web is deep link out of the box. So app links and universal links, right? They're similar to web links. So they have a good experience in the sense that the user will be redirected to the web if the app cannot open for any reason. That's one. Number two, they are it offers you more security, right? And what do you mean by this? For you to implement app links and universal links, you have to verify the domain. You have to verify ownership of the domain. And if the domain is owned by you or by the organization that own this mobile application, right? So since you verify ownership of the domain, no one can exactly hijack your traffic. And by domain verification, you add some files, which we're going to talk about later on in the talk in this session. You add some files to your, to the domain host, to the domain, right? Which basically verifies ownership of that domain. And then in that file, you have your SHA 256 certificates, you have the team ID and the package name there, right? Yeah, so basically what happens is whenever you try to route, whenever you try to click on a link that is deep linked to a mobile application, right? What it does is, oh, check device. Do we have an application of this package name that matches this team ID, whose SHA-256 key is actually this? If yes, route to that application. Else, continue on the web. So this means no one can hijack your traffic, because even if there are two exact apps that have the same package name, trust me, those two apps can't have the same package name and also have the same SHA-256 key, right? The SHA-256 key is basically your rediscovery key or sign-in key, right? In SHA format, right? And then both of you can have the same team ID. So it's safe. Nobody can just hijack traffic to their app from your own application or your own website. Um, they offer Unilinks and app links offer personalized app experience, right? I mean, you can use it to improve in-app sign-up, activations, user retention, include target parameters to create a customized app experience. I mean, you could insert tracking metrics with links, right, to know how many people have clicked on a particular link. We all talk about user retention, user acquisition, right? Cost of retention, cost of acquisition in yeah, in the industry, right? So these are one way. This is one way for you to improve your user retention, right, and drive engagement, basically, right? Increase traffic. Deep links can be used in marketing, emails, QR code, referrals, SMS, onboarding, etc. Let's take a look at this, right? You send a marketing email promoting a particular product, right? And you have added the link to the product there. Once you have deep link set up your application, clicking the link, that link, open the exact content on the mobile application. And studies shows that more traffic to the application leads to a lot of more checkouts, it leads to more app purchases, more sales. Like it's a no-brainer, right? There are more people using the app, there are more people staying on the app, so it drives more, right? So in that way, you drive up engagements, you drive up conversion rates, because studies also show that users that use a mobile application are more likely to perform actions compared to users that are directed to web content. Like that's the way it is. Excuse me. But yes, that's the recommended, right? App links and universal links. However, we also have custom scheme, right? And why is custom scheme not the recommended, you know, go-to approach? Number one, they are less secure. Earlier, we talked about deep link, app links, and universal links. We having to add some file to our website or our web domain just to verify ownership of the domain, right? You can't do that with custom links. I mentioned here, right, that custom schemes, there is not verification required, and that means anyone can hijack traffic to the application. Anyone can claim any scheme, right? They can just claim a particular scheme and redirect traffic to the application, right? It's very simple. Like I mentioned, two apps can have the same package name, but they can't have the same team ID and the same SHA-256 key, right? So if you set up custom links, right, you can't. There's no the custom links require no authorization. Two apps can have the same custom links. Now imagine where you have a custom link and then tapping on this custom link because there are two different apps on the device, right? Of course, to show these two different apps, they want to open A or B. Like that way, you can hijack. That way, basically, you could hijack traffic, right, from someone else's app just because it's custom scheme. There's no authorization. You can claim any link, right? And one thing with a custom scheme, right, also is that whenever you click on the link and the app is not installed, you get an error. Like you get an error. Okay. Custom schemes are suitable for apps that whose route does not align with the web. If your web and your mobile application, the routing are two different things, right? You could take the approach of custom. Yes, yeah, you could take the approach of custom schemes, right? Or you could also refactor and ensure that your routing matches what you have on the web. I mean, maybe change the route name, right? So that you could map what you have on the web. So how do you set up deep links? Yes, how do you set up deep links? It's very simple. There's two kinds of setup. There's the web setup and the app setup. The web setup requires that you add certain files to the domain, right? Just to verify the ownership of the domain, right? And we also have the app setup, which means making changes to iOS and Android parameters, and also your Flutter slash Dart code, right? So the web setup, irrespective of the platform you are building on, native Android, native iOS, you're building with Flutter, React Native, whatever. I don't want to know. I don't care, right? The web setup remains the same. Okay. Yeah. Let's proceed. Your Android file is basically as a file called assets.links.json. You keep this file in a folder called .wellknown inside your domain name. So if my domain name is helpinglabs.xyz, right? I'm going to go to the helpinglabs.xyz on the front end, right? Create a directory called .wellknown and keep this file in that directory. It's straightforward. What are the contents of this asset links.json? It's basically this. relation, a delegates permission to handle all URLs, where the target is an Android app, namespacing, the package name, which is the package name of the application, right? So I'm building an app called Deeper. This is the package name XYZ helping glass Deeper, right? And this is my SHA256 certificate fingerprint. Of course, you can't, if you like, copy this and go and use it. It won't work. It's a demo app, right? Just for the purpose of, playing with deep links and how it works. Yeah, so this is basically the formats of your Android file. Okay, the asset links.json that you host on your website. For iOS, so it's similar, but the file is called Apple App Site Association. Also in that .well-known directory on the web, on your website. I think the Apple App Site Association file is like a JSON file, but no extension called .json. So I don't know why Apple did that, but like that's how it is. And this is the format: apps, app links, apps, the details, app ID and path. As you can see, we have a list of details. So meaning you could have a list, list of details, basically an object, app ID and path. So you could have a list of items, handle different app IDs and different paths. Cases where you have multiple applications that could be deep linked, right? So you handle it from here, right? And then of course you could specify the paths, the specific path you want to handle. In my case, it's wildcard asterisk. So all links to this website, this deep link to my mobile application. You will notice that for this Apple file, we don't have the SHA-256 key, right? That's because on Android, we have a release.jks key when you are signing the application, which we generate the SHA-256 from. On iOS, it's actually the theme ID. So this app ID you see here is the theme ID dot the package name, package bundle ID, package ID, whatever you want to call it, right? So this theme ID is unique. It's what they use to identify your application on App Store. Okay, so that's all for the web related setup. But the Android app setup is as simple as this. Earlier in Flutter, people use deep links, unilinks, third-party package like unilinks and the likes to handle app linking and universal link. But you don't need that anymore. The Flutter SDK now comes with a deep link handler out of the box. All you have to do is to opt in to that deep link handler. And the reason for the opt-in is because the Flutter does not want to break any integration of those that are using third-party dependency and package to handle this. So first thing, you opt to the Flutter deep link handler. Then you set the intents. I have intents. I set the intents. Android host, the scheme, right? Ensure that your host and scheme are not in the same tag. If they are in the same tag, it will work for all Android devices before Android 10. I think Android 10 and Android 11 and above or thereabouts has issues with this. So ensure your scheme and host are on different level. But this is what the intent looks like. Yes, for custom scheme, this is what it looks like. The scheme becomes the custom name you've created, not HTTP or HTTPS. So you have to understand that. That's all for the Android app setup. For the iOS app setup, it's more compared to Android. So you open your application in Xcode, right? You add the Flutter you opt into the Flutter deep link handler by coming to your info.playlist and adding the key Flutter deep linking enabled. Yes, say boolean. After that, you go to sign in and capabilities, add an associated domain. In my case, my domain name is helpwinglab.xyz. So I've added that domain, app links, helpwinglab.xyz. And that's it. That's it. Opt-in, associated domain. For navigation and routing, that's like the other bit to it. Either you're using Flutter 1.0, Navigation 1.0, or Navigation 2.0, basically similar. For Navigation 1.0 Navigator API, we use the onGenerate route method. For Navigation 2.0, out of the box, like it should be deep link enabled. Excuse me. So for Navigation 2.0, yeah, I've used Route Master, right? The same thing with Go Router. Route Master, I've defined my Route Master delegates. I have my route map. Basically, it's very important. It creates a map of routes, right? I have my route map. Um, these are like constants on my routes, and then I set the delegates to the router delegates, and set the route information parser. When you're working with Go router, you don't use the router delegate and route information parser. I think you use the router config, because you create a Go router config, and inside this you add your map of Go routes. Then you assign that to the router config. It's basically the same thing. The idea is same thing across the board. For navigation 1.0, I mentioned earlier that you do it in your onGenerate routes. Now, your link can have things like, can be something like https://gmail.com/product !ID equals to 3 and color equals to green. Like weird URL combination. So how do you do that? You need regex, right? Regular expression to be able to strip out arguments from the link. So in my case, I did not want to like rewrite the whole of that, so I used what you call a regex router. I think available on pub.dev. It's basically just one file. The source code of the package is just one file, and that does the whole regex on your onGenerate routes. So I've done that. I'm going to map my route. My route map could be here. Route details, view routes, and map the routes here. In my own case, I'm only having helpwinglab.xyz/product/the product ID. So I just want to strip the argument ID from the argument. And yeah, like this, like the constant routes I've created. So I assign it as my route map, home view routes, product view routes, search view routes, right? I also have unknown routes, meaning route.next is 3404. I also have my onGenerate route. If you notice, I have routes and onGenerate route. That's because normally onGenerate routes you use it for when you use it when you want to perform operations on routes before they really get to their final destination, right? So I could actually keep home view route, product view route, search view route inside the onGenerate route and not use this route map here. But I don't want to overflow onGenerate routes. Its work is to perform certain operations and logic before you get to your destination. And in this case, I only want to perform operation on my product details view route, right? Like I want to strip the ID from the argument, which is why I filled the regex router.generate routes, which is what we have here, right? So I don't overflow the generate routes. Yeah, and that's that. So with this, once you fire your deep links, your app should open as expected, right? You can fire the deep links from your terminal. That's one way to do it. Or you could just, open the link on the device you're testing with and see if it opens the application. So that's that with the app setup and the web setup. But there is one more thing or one more guy, right? Which we call the deferred deep links. Like where exactly are they called deferred deep links? Like where are we deferring the deep links? Right? So like every deep link, deferred deep link takes you at a particular session or content of an application but this time with the added capability to handle cases where the app is not installed on the device. So why are they called deferred? They're called deferred due to this reason. You don't have the device installed and you click on this link, the link opens the store, Play Store or App Store, whichever any platform you are working with, or any platform of user device. It stores this link somewhere. Then when you install the application and open, right, it restores this link that triggered the installation, right? restores this original link and then routes you to the content as required. So you defer the link during the installation process, only to go back to it after the installation is complete. That's why it's deferred. So I said, unlike regular deep link, which immediately open the corresponding app if installed or it directs to a website if not installed, deferred deep links provide a seamless experience by allowing app installation, then routing to the intended content. That is deferred deep links. That's why they're called deferred deep links. And deferred deep links, a lot of times we handle this with third-party solutions, Firebase dynamic links, Adjust, Branch.io, AppFlyer. Like these are the popular of all the solutions we use to handle deferred deep links. And of course, we're going to see why third-party solutions. Role of third-party solutions in deep linking. They are great for apps without domain. If your app doesn't have a domain name, you can still create a deep link from the dashboard. You have a domain name, it's very fine. No problem. Just verify domain ownership and you're good to go. Third-party solutions offer you link management and generation. They allow you tools to be able to generate and manage different deep links effectively, right? It means you can create unique deep links for different app content or action, and you can keep track of the performance and usage and how they do. We have attribution tracking and analytics, right? So basically, your third-party solution gives you a whole lot of analytic features, robust tracking, and performance insights. They also allow you to do universal deep links, universal linking out of the box. They also provide you a fallback mechanism, right? And even changing of the destination of a generated link in real time. All you have to do is go to the dashboard and change the destination or change the behavior. Personalization and re-engagement. This one is really good for marketing, or I don't know. Typically data, right? Third-party solution, they allow you able to personalize, to offer personalized deep links. That is, you can lead to users to specific content in the application based on their past interactions or based on user profile data. You know, you can perform that lot of magic. Then dynamic linking. A dynamic linking, right? This means being able to modify the destination of a deep link based on real-time data, based on the user behavior or contextual behavior. Like basically, you can modify the link in real time. That's why it's dynamic links. And then app installation campaign. Basically, third-party platform can assist you in running installation campaign, right? Meaning your marketing team can create targeted campaigns that will leverage on deep links, just to boost app installs. It's a single click really. And yeah, that's it with third party solutions. Why third party solutions? But the question is, why do you need third party solutions? Why do we use third party solutions, right? So let's look at challenges implementing different deep links from scratch. I've tried implementing from scratch before, and I ended up almost building my own different deep linking platform. Number one, platform tracking is a challenge. You have to There are different operating systems, iOS and Android, and they have different deep linking mechanism, right? So meaning you have to like create a unified solution that will work smoothly on both platforms. That's one. You have the challenge with detecting installation, meaning you have to determine if the app is installed on the user device or not. Carefully determine that quickly, right? Your implementation should be accurate as possible, just to avoid unnecessary redirecting to the store. Or yeah, you have to be as accurate as possible. You don't want to redirect to the store unnecessarily. Um, Deferred deep link routing. Deferred deep link, once the app is installed, you want to continue using the deep links, right? You want to route to the specific content or location in the app, right? This could bring in different edge cases and different scenarios, because basically you have to keep the link somewhere. You have to hold the link somewhere while the app installs, and when the app is done installing and it's opened, right? You want to check the last link that the user interacted with, and check if it has not been consumed. Then you consume the link. Complexity. App Store navigation, right? Navigating users to the appropriate store based on their device platform and fashion. meaning you have to be careful with how you handle URLs and the protocol, store protocols. Store protocols very important. Tracking and attribution, like how to implement analytics and tracking for the links. I want to know how many people have consumed my link. I want to know if my link how well my links are performing. This is another headache. Right, this is another headache. Um, Testing and debugging. You want to be able to test the links across various devices and platforms. Identify scenarios easily and fix issues. Another headache when you implement it from scratch. You also be able to handle failures. Like cases where deferred deep links fail, right? Maybe things like technical issues, network connectivity problem, or incoherent link structure. How do you want to handle the failures? Another headache. Version compatibility. Every time we're talking about backward compatibility, right? Shipping things while supporting the existing versions, right? It could be a challenge because apps don't remain the same over time. They change over time. They evolve, right? So that's problematic. Lots of problems, right? Challenge that you will face, right? With deferred deep link if you're trying to implement from scratch. And that's what third party solution sells to you. We've solved all these problems over time, right? And we'll keep on solving more. So just pay us and use our platform. I mean, why do it when we've done it for you? And then of course, if you want to take the approach of doing it, you could talk to me. I've tried doing it, not because I wanted to I don't do the third party solution, right? Just see how it's being done and what works under the hood. I think I got this working, pretty much working, right? But there are a lot of things to still consider and implement. So the point is it works. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, in summary, deep links helps you to enhance your overall product experience, right? Increase traffic to your mobile apps, increase user retention rates, more checkouts and more increased sales, etc. etc. So yeah, I've attached resources here. Uh, this article I wrote, the comprehensive guide to enhance mobile user experience with deep linking, deep dive to Flutter deep linking, a video from the Flutter team at Google I/O extended this year. Deeper, a guide to Flutter deep linking, basically a repo. But all the code I used in this project is available there. You could literally copy, reuse the code. SUP app link in Android, Flutter documentation, universal link in IO, Flutter documentation, deep linking in Flutter. I think that will also be one of the Android documentation from the Android team. And yes, I have a package for us. This is a QR code, so you could scan the code, right? Please scan the code. Actually, this code then redirects to a feedback form for this session. So please scan the code and please fill the feedback form. If you have questions, also you could drop the question. I think there's basically a question box inside the feedback form. You could drop your question there. I will respond to your questions. How we respond to your questions, right? So thank you so much. That's the QR code. You could just scan it and yeah. But at the end of the feedback form is a package for us there. Please scan this thing so we can and attend to the feedback form so we can get our package. Yeah, so I remain myself, Samuel Abada. You can connect with me on Twitter, Sam underscore. You can find me on LinkedIn, GitHub, but not Instagram. I'm on Instagram, but it's not active. I'm not on TikTok. What else? What else is please again? Oh, Medium. Yeah, you can find me on Medium. Code Farmer on Medium. Yeah. So thank you.